Now, who is going to be the Qatar hero this year? Will there be another Piastri upset? Is there going to be another fiasco like there was in Hungary? I wonder. Am I live? Who knows? It's all part of the fun. I am live. Fantastic. How are we going? Hello, hello. Turn15 channel here. Live once again for a watch along. My name is Yon Denver. Hope you're having a good Saturday wherever you are, wherever you may be, whatever you're doing. Probably watching this if you're watching this, so good on ya. Qatar Sprint, the Lusail circuit. Fast one, this one. Very, very fast. Now, you might be wondering, why are we here? Because Max Verstappen has already won the championship. Well, we booked it, so we got to come here anyway. Not much point even discussing the Drivers' Championship anymore. Leclerc v Norris for second. Who gives a shit, really? Apart from that, it's a Constructors' Championship. That's pretty much all there is left to play for now, and a bit of personal pride. 3 races, including this sprint to go. I won't complain about sprints again. I've done that enough this year. I probably will, but you know, I'll make false promises. Why not? That's what I love doing. There he is, just watching the live broadcast on Sky F1. Lando Norris getting suited up, getting masked up like it was COVID, getting ready to sit in his car, and hopefully for him, he's going to win. Zach Brown behind him. Norris, by the way, starting on pole today, so good work, Lando. It's been for the car that he's had, it's been a little bit of an underwhelming season, I think, for Lando Norris. I think maybe he expected a bit more, but, you know, circumstance and, you know, a few mistakes here and there, let's be honest. We'll see what he can do next year. I mean, this week, next week, it's all about just a little bit of, it's a bit of an end of term feeling. All the exams are done, but you still got to rock up for a couple of meaningless days, but we'll have fun doing it. I tell you, it'd be fun if these guys started doing like, we call it muck-up day here, where you just like play like pranks and shit on each other and on the teachers. Whatever, I'm just rambling now. Norris on pole, Russell second, great lap out of George Russell. Winner last week in Vegas, by the way, so looking to keep going with that form, and I wonder if he's going to be able to get the win tonight, because that car looks pretty quick, and he looks pretty quick in it. Coming off that big hype, that big motivation push out of Vegas as well. So expecting a lot of George Russell today. Piastri starts third, Sainz fourth, Leclerc fifth, Verstappen 6th. So the top 6 and Hamilton 7th, lest we forget. The top 7, basically, who you'd expect. Gasly in 8th, Hulkenberg 9th, Liam Lawson, good lap out of him in 10th. Alonso 11th, Albon 12th, Bottas 13th. That might even be the qualifying lap of the year, getting that piece of fucking shit bathtub on wheels up to 13th. That's amazing. Lance Stroll in 14th, Kevin Magnussen starting 15th, Tsunoda starting 16th, then Ocon and Zhou Guanyu in 18th, Perez, Colapinto, both of them starting from the pits. Both of them have had setup changes after qualifying was over, which means pit lane start. Perez was only going to start 16th anyway. Another dismal fucking showing from Checo Perez. It's been the running theme of the year, and I love Checo Perez. I've always loved Checo Perez. I think he's absolutely fantastic, but it's getting to a point now where I think he's untenable in that team. And Max Verstappen is already world champion. Red Bull are probably going to finish third in the Constructors' Championship. And unfortunately, that just comes down to Checo Perez. I mean, that's a whole lot of points that he's missing. He scored, what does it say here? 49 points in the last 16 events. 49 points. So he's scoring at about the rate of Alpine, which is bad. In a car that is world champion material, that won the world championship with Max Verstappen, if he's finishing 16 events, 49 points, not good enough. He's somehow survived the chop several times. There's a few theories for that. Maybe it's commercial. Maybe it's to do with the Mexican Grand Prix being on the calendar. Maybe it's to do with all the pesos that flow out of Mexico into Red Bull via sponsorship. Who knows? He's got another meeting to decide his future as Lando's getting strapped in his car, so we're almost ready to go. About 4 minutes until lights out. How fun. Checo's going to have another meeting to decide his future. They love their fucking meetings in Red Bull. I don't know, maybe they serve great coffee during them or some shit, but they can't fucking wait to have another one. It's going to be Red Bull board discussing what to do with Checo Perez, because they foolishly, I think, signed him for 2 more years, announced that back in, what was it, like May-ish? So a long time ago, and ever since he has just absolutely shit the bed. So you talk about regret. They are absolutely regretting putting a ring on Checo Perez. They said they will. They said, oh, to do till death do us part, but really, could you just fuck off now? I mean, the big problem for them is they also have no suitors. I think they completely missed a trick not getting Carlos Sainz into that seat, who would have been fucking perfect for it. Absolutely perfect. It would have meant Red Bull, without Adrian Newey, could at least punch a little bit harder than it currently is. Whatevs. Anyway, speaking of Carlos Sainz, a little bit of a do between him and Leclerc last week. That was a lot of fun in Vegas. A little bit of toing and froing on the track, and then on the radio, Charles Leclerc going entertainingly fucking aggro to his race engineer afterwards, throwing around all sorts of cuss words and things like that. I hope to God Charles Leclerc is finally figuring out that Ferrari are kind of brain dead when it comes to strategy, and maybe he shouldn't be trusting his team as much as he does. We've seen it a few times this year, I think even last year as well, where Carlos Sainz was starting to do his own thing, and it worked out well for him. It generally worked out well for him, so hopefully Charles Leclerc can do that. Or it's going to be fun. I think the big lesson is Ferrari's not communicating what its plans are to its drivers, or it's changing its plans mid-race and not telling anybody. And the other big part is Carlos Sainz come next, well, not this Monday, but the one following, he will be wearing Williams blue, doing demo laps at Abu Dhabi. So he's probably giving Ferrari the big, get fucked, I'm not following your orders. Maybe he's like, listen to Rage Against the Machine, or some such. Anyway, what else is going on? Oh, big news. Cadillac. Cadillac has been, as they're going through the grid, which I've already done on the Sky broadcast, so we are about 2 minutes away. Stick around for fun. Cadillac is in. Cadillac is in. The Andretti bid is now Andretti less, sort of. Mario Andretti is there. Michael Andretti has stepped down. Now, was that stepping down to get the F1 team over the line, or was that stepping down because he's been running the thing for more than 2 decades and he's just had enough? We'll see. I mean, he's been running that team in World RX, IndyCar, the whole road to Indy and all of that. They've been toying with the idea of maybe getting a NASCAR team going. That hasn't happened yet, but it's been one of the sort of ever-present rumor mill things. They've had their fingers in a lot of pies over the years, and if what I've heard, if they're going to continue it without the Andretti, I mean, it's Andretti's bid. It's also Cadillac's bid. It was a joint venture. Cadillac is taking it forward. It's run by the fella, I forget his name, but he is in charge of the 1001, however you say that, group. They own Gainbridge and a whole bunch of other companies in the US. That's where all the money's coming from. Actually, it's funny. There's an IndyCar kind of nobody from a few years ago. Drove for Andretti for a couple of years. Name is Zach Veach. One of those guys that just sort of turns up and fucks around for a little bit and then fucks off. There's been plenty of them in racing. Plenty of them in racing. But he was the one who introduced Gainbridge as a sponsor to the Andretti team. Via Zach Veach turning up and doing pretty much nothing in an Andretti IndyCar, we're going to have Cadillac entering Formula One from 2026 with its own engine from 2028, running Ferraris in the meantime, if what I've heard is true. That Zach Veach is going to change, I guess, the history of Formula One, even a little bit, is mind-blowing. Absolutely mind-blowing. Almost as mind-blowing as Checo Perez scoring 49 points in a Red Bull in the last 16 race events. Don't get me wrong, I love Checo. I love him. I've loved the guy for years. I think he's absolutely fantastic. Green light just went out in the formation lap, by the way, if you're watching at home. So Russell's ahead right now, but he's going to give that back to Lando Norris after turn 1. Surely, yeah, there Lando goes around the outside and order is resumed. What was I saying? Oh, it doesn't matter. Cadillac, yes. Cadillac's in. That's the important part. Cadillac is in. 2026 drivers. Well, it's an 11th team, and this is what I've been saying all year. It's going to be great to have an 11th team. You're going to get 2 more drivers into the sport. One probably will be Colton Herter. We'll see, and I fucking hope it is, because that would be very, very exciting. I think Colton's fantastic. I think he's really, really quick. What can he do in Formula One? We'll see. IndyCar success doesn't always translate to F1. I mean, Sebastian Bourdais is a good example of that. But sometimes, Alex Zanardi as well, but sometimes it does. Sometimes it does. Juan Montoya is a good example. Juan Montoya, I mean, it's really just how good your driver is. If you've got a driver of Juan Pablo Montoya's raw talent caliber, you are going to win races. If you've got a driver like, I don't know, not Logan Sargent, he never did IndyCar, did he? Although he did test one. Whoever, I don't know. There's been plenty of guys who've sort of come over and not done that great. Cristiano D'Amato, why not? Although I like D'Amato, but you know, it didn't last for Toyota. Formation lap's almost done. Wow, that's a quick formation lap as well. In fact, this track is very, very quick this year. Very quick. They're taking whole seconds off of the time as they're going around the lap this year. Now, the track's had a year to bed in, a year to weather in, so there's a bit more grip available. They've chucked a lot of the curbs, they've grinded a lot of them down, so they're not as harsh, so the tyres are going to be working, and the temperatures are lower as well. So we're not going to have blowouts or any of that sort of shit that we did last year that actually had a very entertaining race out of it. It's going to be a lot more conventional, but God, they are going really, really quick around some of these corners. Really, really fast. My God, just the change of direction, it's just crazy. It almost looks like badly rendered CG. Drivers coming up to the grid. So 19 laps today. What else have we got? Bit of news. Audi might be in trouble. I mean, I could get into this more tomorrow. Or if this race is a dud, I'll start talking about this shit. Audi, they've sold, actually, because we're in Qatar, Audi has actually sold a little bit of the team to the Qatari investment fund, the same one that tried to buy Manchester United and failed. I've heard a few $100 million has changed hands. There's Jack Doohan, will be on the grid next year. It's going to be a lot of fun to see him race and a lot of fun to call him racing on here. So we'll see. That Audi project sounds like a right fucking mess. We'll see. VW as a group as well is in a lot of trouble right now. Heard Nissan might be going bankrupt as well, so hard times ahead. Here we go. The last car, which is Zhou Guanyu, has pulled up to the back of the grid. Lights are about to go. Come on, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh, they're out. Here we go. Decent start out of Lando Norris. Oh, but George is gonna... Oh no, George isn't quite going to get it. Oscar Piastri's coming up on him. Lando Norris has absolutely booked it. There he goes. So wow, for the first time maybe in living memory, Lando Norris has had a decent start and Piastri is ahead of George Russell. George Russell has absolutely fucked this one. Whoops. Oh dear, Lewis Hamilton's had a decent start as well. Carlos Sainz has stayed ahead of Leclerc. Oh, that's... Piastri going wide as well. Coming out of turn 5. A couple of cars going wide out of turn 5, actually. Look at Norris go. He's on a mission. Russell having a little look into turn 7. Doesn't quite get it done. Starting to gap already. So this is the thing with tracks like this. They're so aero dependent to get around the corner. I mean, the corners are very high speed, but it also means a lot of aero demand. And one of the side effects of that is you can't really follow a car that closely ahead of you because the aero will wash out, even with ground effect cars like this. Jeez, Lando is absolutely booking it. See ya later. So Lando coming around the final corner to complete soon. Here he goes. Yes, to complete lap 1 of the race. So Norris, Piastri, Russell, Sainz, Hamilton, Leclerc, Hulkenberg up to 7th. Good stuff. Gasly 8th. Verstappen down to 9th. Good grief. Then Alonso down to 10th. Max Verstappen might still be driving with a hangover. We'll have to see. Kevin Magnussen, Bottas, Stroll, Ocon, Albon, 15th. Joe 16th, Lawson 17th, Sonoda 18th, and then Colapinto Perez bringing up the rear. You can see them on the track map, both of them just kind of doing their own thing. A few seconds off the back. Now, George Russell here really starting to, trying to get close to Oscar Piastri. This race might actually be quite DRS dependent, I think. I mean, it was built as a motorbike racing circuit. They've been hosting MotoGP for, I think, 2007 was the first time. It's a good track for the bikes, a really good track for the bikes, but the bikes could mostly put a good race on anywhere in the world. Probably put a good race on in the living room, even. Norris, 1.1 seconds, so he's really starting to book it. Now, the important thing here is you have to stay within DRS range. You have to. I mean, it's kind of a no-brainer, but you really, really have to. It's hard to magic a kind of move around here. The corners are so quick. The big braking zones are what, turn 1 and sort of turn 6, sort of maybe, but there's not a long run into turn 6. So I'd say kind of turn 1 is the big one. And Russell just squeezing his nose in, but not getting it done. Piastri slamming the door on him like he was a Jehovah's Witness. On board with Max Verstappen. Yeah, he's just kind of doing his own thing. You know what? I can tell already. This is lap 3 and 19. I can tell already. I'm not seeing a whole lot of action going on in this race. I mean, I hope I'm wrong. We'll see how long the tyres last, but... And what have we got? Zhou Guanyu on the softs. Everyone else on the mediums. Bottas apparently is running no tyres, so maybe doing a bit of Flintstones action back there in the Sauber. Maybe that's how you unlock speed in the Sauber, take the fucking wheels off. There we go, Constructors' Championship. Live results, McLaren. It's going to be a decent chunk of points that they're going to throw on Ferrari, and there's not that long to go. Not many races after this. 2 Grands Prix. I mean, basically, if Ferrari and Red Bull not score tomorrow, which is unlikely, but if it were to happen and McLaren were to get, say, a 1-2 or something, game over. Game over. And I mean, quite literally, game over. It's done. And then there is no reason to turn up to Abu Dhabi. Here comes George Russell! On the inside of Piastri, that's very, very close. Piastri just cuts him off. Oh, very forceful defending. Not dirty. Forceful defending out of Oscar Piastri there. I'm not sure how the fuck they actually managed to do that. I thought that there was going to be contact there, the way that Piastri was just coming back across the apex at George Russell. Well, here comes George Russell. He just... something turned into me. He's racing you, George. That's what he's doing. I love George Russell. I mean, look down there. I love George Russell. I really do. But down there, not down here. That's a different kind of thing. But, my God, he can be such a little bitch on the radio sometimes. Now, here we go. Replay at the start. So Russell had an okay launch and then just kind of went nowhere. Norris channeling Mika Hakkinen in 99 Suzuka there. Piastri. So... oh, who was that? That was a big wiggle out of one of the Ferraris. That was Carlos Sainz. Big wiggle, and he just checked up. He checked up Max Verstappen. He checked up Charles Leclerc. That's how Lewis Hamilton got by. A few things going on at the start here. Now, who is this? On board with Carlos Sainz. Now, just watch this. Out of turn... I think just sort of coming to the end of outside of turn 1. He has a big, big moment, and you see Charles Leclerc behind, and Max Verstappen behind Charles Leclerc. There it is. And they all got really checked up. Suddenly Lewis is ahead of Charles Leclerc. Oh, a lot of sliding out of Max as well at the next corner. Well, that's a shame. Oh, and again. And again. So Max has had, what, 3 shitty corners in a row. I mean, he got balked at one of them, but he just had such massive, massive oversteer moments. That back is really loose. Was there a little bit of contact there between Russell and Piastri there? It looked like it. Either Piastri has jinked his car, or there was actually a little bit of contact, it looked, when they were really close, mid-apex. I was wondering how they didn't touch. Maybe they did after all. Start time analysis. Yeah, Russell, Piastri basically matching each other there. So here we go, lap 5. Almost at the end of lap 5, so almost on a lap 6. Norris, Piastri, Russell, Sainz, Hamilton, Leclerc, Hulkenberg 7th, Gasly still 8th, Verstappen still 9th, Kevin Magnussen still 10th. I think Joe went above Lawson, but I'm not sure I've seen anybody else even make a pass here. Oh, those McLarens are getting very close. Those McLarens are getting very, very close. So what's happened to Norris? He's absolutely lost a chunk of time. He was leading by about a second. Now it's just barely half a second. Now I wonder if Norris has backed off a little bit to give Piastri a bit of DRS. I mean, Norris was the one benefiting from that at Singapore last year. Remember when Carlos Sainz was backing him, was backing Norris, or basically backing up into Norris and letting him use that DRS to keep the Mercedes at bay. Maybe he's trying to do the same thing here. You know, I feel like I can actually talk this week. It's lovely. That Vegas race, my God, that was quite the experience. Now, what's this? Just a replay on board with Kevin Magnussen. He had a pretty decent start, just sort of threading the needle there. Oh, really, really close to, who is that, Fernando Alonso? No, it's Lance Stroll, rather. They keep changing their fucking helmets, man. They keep changing their fucking helmets. This is what everyone was complaining about when Seb kept doing it, like, every week. But now we've got everybody pulling out fucking special helmets out of nowhere. So, yeah, Lando Norris, again, very close. Oscar Piastri in second. I get the feeling that is what's going on here. So Piastri, I don't think is going to make a move. Probably McLaren have said, if you're running 1-2, just hold it, because we need the points for the Constructors' Championship. No one gives a shit about finishing second in the championship, apparently, except for Charles Leclerc, who wants to finish second for some reason. Trying to give Oscar DRS every lap. Lando Norris, bam, called it. Thank you very much. I mean, you know, what can I say? I know what I'm talking about here. I wonder if Norris is worried that if George can get past Oscar, then he could also get past Lando. The big thing is he's running out of time to do anything now. We're already on lap 7. Mostly through lap 7, actually. We're about to start lap 8 of 19. Nearly halfway through the sprint already. God, they do go quick. This track, by the way, I mean, oh, what's this? Liam Lawson on Zhou Guan Yu. And Zhou Guan Yu on the soft tyres, the only one running the soft tyres as well, is starting to fade quite badly. Well, you know. Here we go, Max Verstappen on Pierre Gasly at turn 1. And through he goes. That is your bog standard DRS pass right there. Colapinto's just gone past Zhou Guan Yu as well. Looks like Perez is going to do it too. Yep, there he goes. Those soft tyres were a complete mistake then. Total roll of the dice and didn't work out. Actually, speaking of Zhou Guan Yu, he's going to be, from what I've heard, he's probably going to be the Ferrari reserve driver, development driver next year. It's a good move for him, you know. If he's not going to have a seat in Formula 1 racing, then being a development driver for Ferrari, and he was part of the young driver program many moons ago. You know, that's good for him. It's good for him. It's decent for Ferrari. He's a decent shout, you know. I mean, Ferrari still have, well, not so much now, but they did have a lot of fingers in that. Wait, was Fred Vasseur running Ferrari when Zhou Guan Yu was there? I think he was in 22. I think he was. Maybe he likes what he saw there. Now, George Russell is getting close to Piastri, but just not quite close. Oh, he's going to have sort of a go, but not quite. Nah. That's not going to work. The thing is, when the corners are so quick like they are at this track, you really, really have to send it. You really have to send it because there's no big. Basically, the slower the corners are, the bigger the braking distance is, and the better chance you have of sending it, really. If the corners are quick, then the braking distance is very small, and there's basically not a lot of time or area to really work with to make a pass go. So basically, Russell's just going to absolutely have to fucking send it. Really, really just go for it. And I mean, like, risk crashing sending it. Yeah, so how about that? Zhou Guanyu losing about 4.5 seconds a lap then, so great. Good work, Sauber. Well done, well done. That Audi team might be... We'll see if it even gets off the ground, to be honest. I get the feeling they're so deep into it now. They're so committed that they have to. They poured a lot of money into the engine already. They poured a lot of money into the factory in Hinwell to try to get that thing back up to a bit respectable spec. The VW group is having a lot of financial difficulty right now. I heard that they're going to shut like 3 plants in Germany next year. There's going to be a whole lot of layoffs. At the same time, they're still trying to fund an F1 team. It's not a great look. It's part of the reason. What is this? Sergio Perez? Fucking Christ. Totally missing the lights. And he's been jumped by Colapinto out of the pits. Yeah, I was wondering how the fuck Colapinto got ahead of him. Look at Colapinto. He's arriving and Checo is still slow out of the pits after the green light. Is he on his fucking phone? Like, what are you doing, dude? The light goes fucking green right in front of him, and he just stares at it. Dear God. I get the feeling Checo knows he's never going to beat Max. He knows it. He's never going to beat Max. He's never going to be world champion. The rate that team is disintegrating from the inside as well. And, you know, a whole lot of people are leaving for pastures new, like Adrian Newey. It's probably the biggest, well, actually, by far the biggest fucking name that's doing it, but a whole host of other ones are doing it as well. I wonder if Checo just thinks, you know what, I'm fucking locked in here. 2 years, I could just do whatever. I could do whatever. I can collect millions of dollars every year, drive around, and not really give a shit. I mean, he's got some wins, you know. I mean, I know that's not really what he's thinking, but Jesus, the brain fart. Not even a brain fart, it's a fucking brain shart that he's just pulled there. That is fucking outrageous. I mean, maybe I'm harsh, but that is... that's one of those inexcusable things, you know what I mean? Light goes green and you just sit there waiting. I mean, I'd lose my mind if that happened out on the road, for fuck's sake, let alone in an F1 car. What's this? Replay of Fernando Alonso, or going just a little bit wide. No harm, no foul, really. Alonso's still riding 11th. Not good enough for points today, of course, because that's only for the top 8. Speaking of the top 8, Hulkenberg is running 7th. Still. So McLaren telling Norris to pick up the pace just a tiny little bit to help with that DRS strategy. Looks like Zhou Guanyu has pitted as well. Now he's nearly a minute behind the leaders, so well done, Sauber. Fucking killing it once again. Yeah, Hulkenberg's still running 7th. Good for him. Good for him. He, actually, speaking of Hulkenberg, back to Audi. Hulk, I think, is just scoring points while he can. That Audi team right now, we'll see what kind of car they can shit out next year. Most of these teams are going to be just evolving their cars for next year. Anticipating the new rules in 26. That's where a lot of their focus is going to be. Ever since Brawn and kind of Red Bull did it as well in 2009, it's been the thing. New rule set, chuck everything you've got into that, and maybe you get a winner. Maybe you could pick a winner, who knows. Of course, it hasn't really changed the order much in the last couple of rule resets, so yeah, no. But yeah, Hulkenberg, mate, score those points while you can, buddy. It's going to be a long old wait to get back there next year. Audi, I mean, yeah, what was I saying? VW Group's in trouble. The whole world economically right now is in trouble. It's a weird, actually, I won't pretend to be a financial expert, but it's a weird, there are indications of recession, but then there are also indication that everything's going gangbusters, so fucking, it's a weird time to be alive. It's a very weird time to be alive, but you know what, Johnny Herbert isn't part of the Sky broadcast anymore, so it's a good time to be alive. Anyway, here we go, Charles Leclerc. Whoa, Lewis Hamilton is going to send it. He's going to send it. Contact to the middle of turn 1. Oh, they're getting very, very close into turn 2. Leclerc's going to try to hang it around the outside. I don't know if the tyres will let him. He's going to make it. Wow. Amazing. Out of turn 3, Hamilton's trying to come back at turn 4. Now, this is interesting because they'll be teammates next year. And look at that. Charles Leclerc has absolutely... Into turn 6 now, Charles Leclerc is ahead. Lewis Hamilton looks like he's starting to get a bit of aero wash and drops a little bit behind. Charles Leclerc made it work. Gets the position. Now that is very important for Charles Leclerc. That is a marker for next year. Bam. That's what I got, old man. Look at me. I'm the future now. Look at that. Charles Leclerc just sending it. They're so close. Just a tiny little touch in there, I think, as well. A lot of respect between both of these guys, Lewis isn't, running him out of the road. Charles Leclerc's not running him off the corner as well. It's just, that is some classic, finally, some good fucking racing. That is classic side-by-side. Ooh. Classic side-by-side. Oh, George Russell... Oh my god, I haven't even been looking at the chat. Do you have any links to watch the race live? No, I don't actually, I'm just watching it. I'm just streaming that shit legitimately actually, so I can't help you with that. Maybe try 4chan. Herder is a definite for GM. Mate, I hope so, and I think he's going to fucking kill it. I think he's going to be good. Exactly how good he'll be in F1 remains to be seen. I can't wait to see what he can do. I think he is such a phenomenally quick driver. He's really exciting. Really, really exciting. Fuck me, that was late. Twice now, Russell says, so he's not happy with Piastri ahead of him. Looks like Carlos Sainz is trying to join the party. Yeah, Herder in F1 I think would be lovely. It'd be great to see. I mean, we almost saw it for AlphaTauri a couple of years ago and it didn't quite happen. Oh, look at George Russell just go here. Okay. Sainz wins World Drivers' Championship at every race at Losail. Snoozer, do you take it? Yes, but I'll probably stop streaming halfway through the year. I mean, I tell you what, Carlos Sainz, actually no, you know what, fuck it. I streamed every race in 2023 and that was, well, except Mexico, and that was fucking great. And Max Verstappen won basically everything that year and I still had fun. And Sainz being a champion, sign me up. Fuck it, I'll take it. I'll take that every day. God damn. Sainz as a World Drivers' Championship, as a World Drivers' Champion rather, in a Williams that is pretty funny. I don't see it, to be honest. In fact, I don't really see Carlos Sainz winning the championship at all, which is it's a big shame, but what can you do? Checo Perez, new front wing. I don't even know why you fucking bother at this point. It's only a couple laps to go. So, okay, so they're apparently just going to try a new setup change and see if they can get something out of Checo Perez. Well, this could well end up being 17 races. 17 race events, rather, with 49 points for Checo Perez. Or let's be charitable. Maybe it'll be 17 with 51 points, Fucking Christ. I mean, what today basically signals between McLaren finishing 1-2, Ferrari 4 and 5 as it runs, assuming it's going to finish like this, which I think it will. It's basically turning into a 2-horse race. Not mathematically, but for all intents and purposes, it is a 2-horse race. McLaren v Ferrari for the Constructors' Championship. They're going to party like it's 1999 or 2000. It's exactly, or 1998. It's the exact same sort of setup we had back then. And I think oh, 07 as well, 08 as well. God, it's been a while. See, they used to go like this all the time. McLaren v Ferrari. Maybe Williams would feature every now and then. This is back to like when I first started watching the sport, way back at like the turn of the century. It was always McLaren and Ferrari doing it, and it's almost weird to see them doing it again after so long of having Mercedes and Red Bull and Renault for a little bit, or even BMW featuring, kind of. It's old school, this is. Especially considering Max Verstappen is the champion, to have Ferrari v McLaren in the same season is actually kind of strange. Anyway, here we go. About to start lap 17. So we've only got three of these to go. How about that? 3 laps to go. Norris, Piastri, Russell, Sainz, Leclerc, Hamilton, Hulk, Verstappen, Gasly, Magnussen. Everyone's kind of gapping. Oh, Russell's sort of getting close. I think he might have used up all of his tyres. He needs to get a little bit quicker to Piastri to make that work. The thing is, turn 1, I think, is too quick. You really got to send it. You got to send it exactly like Leclerc did on Hamilton. That was one of the very rare passes. This race has been one of promising passes, but not quite delivering passes. We've had a couple, and that's about it. Actually, you know who had a fucking bad race? Liam Lawson, starting 10th and ending 16th. Ugh, not great. I don't see... You know what? I could just see Checo keeping that seat next year. I just could. I think Red Bull have totally shit the bed. I think they had the perfect candidate to take that seat. And I don't mean Daniel Ricciardo. As much as that would have been great, I think it's passed him by. Albon going just a little bit wide. What's it, out of turn 1, I think. They had the perfect candidate to replace Checo Perez, and it was Carlos Sainz, and they completely shit themselves, and shit the bed, and shit on the floor, and then shit in the sink as well. They totally missed it. They missed the boat. They fell off the pier chasing it. Russell's still not making it through at turn 1. And now they're basically looking at the rest of their rejects. You have your chance with a stunner at the bar, and you go... I'll come to her later. Maybe I can't. You know what? Sour grapes. She's probably a bitch. She's probably too much maintenance. Look at her perfect proportions and her fucking amazing dress sense and her fucking perfect hair and amazing makeup. Whatever the fuck. This girl looks amazing, but she's probably shit. So I'm not even gonna bother. I am gonna go for whatever shite is left unpicked at the end of the night. And now they're looking at Liam Lawson, Yuki Tsunoda, and none of them look that appealing. See, I don't even think they would do that bad, to be honest. I think Lawson and Tsunoda would probably do okay in that Red Bull seat. But it's almost like... It's just lining up to get beaten by Max nowadays, isn't it? Sainz would have been great. He would have been great. I think he would have taken... I don't think he could beat Max to a championship, but he could give it a good go. More than that, he could take a lot of points for Red Bull. Oh, George Russell sending it last time at a turn 1. Doesn't get it done. That's it. It's over. That's it. It's done. It's done. Unless he wants to absolutely send it into turn 6, which I don't think he can, not without a mistake out of Oscar Piastri. Now, he is close, but it's not going to be quite close enough. It's fucking done. It's over. So, that, mercifully, looks like it's going to be the end of this sprint. Fuck. Last year's sprint actually had a little bit of action. This one... Again, it's like the promise. It's the promise of action, and then you don't quite get it. You get that sometimes. You get that in all sports. Sometimes you get Liverpool versus Manchester United, and it's promising so much, and then it turns into a fucking 7-0 demolition job, and you just think, well, why the fuck did I watch that? Yeah, this is done. So it will finish. Only a couple of corners to go. Perez in dead last. Fuck. So it's going to be Lando Norris, Oscar Piastri, George Russell. Oh, Lando has given Piastri the win. Huh. Oh, okay. So they've given Piastri back the win that Norris was given in Sao Paulo. Okay, you know what? That makes sense. That makes sense. I don't think they're going to get booed like Ferrari were in Austria for doing that. So Piastri wins. How about that? It was a total gift, but, you know, Sao Paulo was a gift, so, you know. It's been kind of fucking messy between McLaren's drivers this year when it comes to this sort of shit. Alright, so... okay, well, there was a pass after all. How about that? And it wasn't at turn one. I'll be honest, I didn't see that coming. Is this just lacking that little bit of ruthlessness that Norris needs? I mean, they were saying before, they were saying in Hungary, you know, hey, Lando, you're going to need Oscar for this championship, only to get completely fucked around at Monza and, you know. Not sure how I feel about this, to be honest. I like Piastri. I think he's fine. He's growing on me, you know. Rich kids from Melbourne tend to drive me up the wall a little bit, but this one's, you know, this one seems alright. Kind of an empty win, that one. But anyway, fuck it. Piastri, Norris, Russell, Sainz, Leclerc, Hamilton, Hulkenberg, Verstappen. That's your point scorers. I have to see what Lando's going to do after this. I wonder if this was like a begrudging thing. It didn't sound like there was any like begging on the radio this time for him to do it. So Lando already has the car. Lando's got the car number one board parked on him, so he didn't do that. He's not done a Seb Vettel there. That's whoever just put that marker down. Maybe they weren't watching the final lap. Now, how's Lando going to be getting out of his car? You know what, fuck it. Maybe he is okay with it, but I don't know. I mean, to me, if he's okay with this, then I'm starting to wonder if he really is champion material. You got to have that little bit of arsehole, you know, about your... Verstappen had it. Hamilton has it. Seb had it back in the day. Schumacher definitely had it. Alonso's kind of got it. You got to be a little bit rough, a little bit of a prick to get the championship, because that's just basically what it needs. You can't be playing nice like this, and what Lando should really be doing is laying down the marker. Fuck you, Oscar. This is my team. I get the wins. But, you know, that's just me. So, these... fuck, what are we going to rate that? Do we even bother rating sprints? It's not even really a race. I rate that that was a race of all time. Yep. Fuck it. You know, it's... But you know what we did get? That's 2 Piastri Qatar Sprint race wins in a row. So how about that? One for the statisticians there. Lando looks a little bit like he swallowed a bee, but, you know, it's a sprint. I don't think it really fucking matters in the end. I doubt Lando would do that in a Grand Prix. Plus the championship's done, so I wonder if he really gives a shit anymore. Russell lost it at the start. Could have... I mean, he looked like he had the speed. We'll see what he could do later in qualifying. We'll see what he could do tomorrow in the race. He does look quick. That McLaren still looks quick. Sainz 4th, Leclerc 5th. Hamilton 6th. Got absolutely bullied by Leclerc. I think that was probably, for me, the talking point of the race. Leclerc v Hamilton, because that is going to stem into next year. Lewis was saying after qualifying... Although it was more of a flippant remark when he said he's just not fast anymore. I don't think he truly believes that, but something's missing with Lewis. Something's missing. Lando, yeah, that's the most forced smile I have ever fucking seen. Dear God. So just a replay. Lando just He should have teased him and just still crossed the line first. You know, it would have been funny. Leclerc Hamilton, yeah, that was a thing that happened today. It's a thing that will be happening more next year. That'll be fun. Hulkenberg in 7th. Good points. Good points for Haas. Good points for Hulk. He's doing well this year. Bless him. He's doing very well. Verstappen in 8th for the final point. It doesn't even fucking matter anymore. He's world champion. Red Bull's basically consigned to 3rd. Meh. That's it. So that's about all the sprint deserves. I'll be back tomorrow night to call the actual main, real Grand Prix. It's going to be on at total cock o'clock in the morning. So, Hinchcliffe doing the answers, doing the questions. How about that? We've already got a bit of IndyCar flavour on the grid. Yeah, I'll be back, cock o'clock in the morning. Let's see how the energy levels are. God fucking willing. God willing. We'll get through a Qatar Grand Prix that could be more entertaining than that, because, like I've always said with sprints, I said I wouldn't complain, but I'm going to say this. What I've always said with sprints, there's no fucking strategy. There's no way for Russell to get by unless he tries to send it, and that just doesn't work. There's no tire offsets. There's no anything like that. All of this shit is part of Formula One racing. That's the thing. It's not just like soccer is not just penalty shootouts. You know what I mean? There's more to it. There's strategy. There's fuel, tires, all sorts of shit like that. And sprints just don't have them, and it means that we just sit through 19 laps of mostly nothing. So thank God for Charles Leclerc for giving us something to talk about. Thank you, George Russell, for keeping it somewhat entertaining. And thank you, Lando Norris, for giving the win to Oscar Piastri for reasons unknown. Whatever. Anyway, I'll be back tomorrow. Just kind of lost with what to say there. That sprint was just kind of shit. I'll be back tomorrow. Thank you very much for watching. My name is Yon Denver. Hope you've had a good evening. Hope whatever you're doing the rest of your day is a little bit more entertaining than that was. Speak to you soon. See you tomorrow. Adios.